This is my natural gas barbecue, and after getting it, I very quickly realized the luxury of not having to go out and buy fuel for it every time it runs out. There's a hose with a quick connect on the wall, and just like the stove, it runs from utility company instead of having to go out and buy the bottles of propane every single time. Realizing how great that is turns my head to another thing. I want to make this thing run off of natural gas. This is my 1983 Briggs and Stratton and Chicago Electric 4,000 watt generator. So it's a Briggs with a updraft carb setup. If you know anything about these, they can be a little tricky, like internal fuel leaks and things like that. This has a shut-off valve, so it doesn't really bother me because it does run fine. And then this is 120 volt, 240. I'm well aware that this is a little bit questionable. I do have an actual proper cord that I'm going to hook up. Gonna drill a hole right here, put a clamp, and then have 10-3 coming out of it, going to this NEMA L1430R connector. At 4,000 watts, this is a very weak generator. That would be a very overkill cord for it, but I have it now, so why not? I haven't used this during a power outage yet. I bought this house, and then we had a ton of power outages. So I went out, bought this, got it set up, installed a generator, interlock, inlet, do everything right. We haven't had a power outage since, so. But I have load tested it. It runs fine for what I'm doing. Even though it's only 4,000 watts, it'll run my furnace. It'll even run the small burners on my electric stove. It does what it needs. It's been 43 years, and this thing has run perfectly fine. And today I'm here to mess with it. This is one of those tri-fuel carbs you get off eBay that are designed for the Honda GX series and their clones. On this barb, you have a natural gas or propane inlet. This thing right here is a primer, so you hit that and it bypasses the diaphragm and just shoots natural gas into the carb. There's 3 connections on it. Like I said, that's the inlet. This one is the actual outlet going into the carburetor. That outlet is positioned between the choke and the throttle lever. The idea is as goes. I'm going to unscrew this from the carburetor. I'm going to figure out a way to mount it, and then this is going to go... My choke is right there, and my throttle is this. Right here I could drill a hole, tap it, and then put this barb in. A bit more interesting, I broke this off by accident taking the locking it off the bottom, but oh well. That's just like a drain bolt. And then that goes to the reference line, passes through, so they're all one thing. Goes right into the fuel bowl, which is interesting. I follow along, and there's an opening right in there, which leads up to here. I would imagine there'd be no vacuum going through that line because it would have to suck fuel in that'd be in the bowl. I'm wondering if this is some sort of safety thing where if there's fuel, it won't be able to pull air through. Maybe it stops this from going so that if you have a bowl that's full of fuel, you're not trying to run it off of natural gas and gasoline at the same time. Time being, that's going to stay disconnected and vented to atmosphere. Found a good spot between the choke and the throttle where the choke lever won't hit it, and tapped it. So now you can see that barb fits perfectly in there. It's sealed perfectly fine around it. So I just need some thread sealant and we're good to go because it is NPT. Another thing to note is that when I was spraying the metal shavings out of here, looks like this pass-through here for this screw is open, so I'm going to use this right here, which is what I use when I do like water pump bolts on like the 3800s. This should work fine because I don't want any vacuum leak around here. That also means this O-ring is going to have to be replaced, which is, it's fine, it's due for it. I played with this a little bit. What I figured out is that if there's a vacuum on this at all, it like opens a diaphragm and lets gas in. Any vacuum at all, it'll open it. Blocking this off didn't seem to make a difference. I really think it is just a reference port. I'm just going to leave it open for now. And eventually it'll get like a 2-stroke weed eater type of filter. Thinking about it a little bit, I'm like, that's not a very strong hole. So instead of using actual pipe thread sealant, I did it's a fuel resistant RTV. That way if there's a gap somewhere, it'll fill it up. Because while I drilled straight, like true to the side of the carb, the surface I drilled into is curved. So there is a chance that, you chip a little bit out and it leaks. What we're looking at right here. One of the things that kind of bothers me about this is there is a hose barb here. I pulled it out because I wanted to find some sort of adapter to thread this style flare fitting on. And I was met with the fact that, one, these aren't even tapered threads, and two, it's a non-standard size here in the United States. I couldn't find anything. I just put it back together, and I put this adapter together. It's been a minute, but I made some more improvements to it. Now that I know it works, I've permanently mounted the gas valve, which is just welding it to the throttle adjustment plate. With that, there's also a ball valve to shut that off. I've got the quick disconnect hose permanently attached, sort of. And right here is the cord. There's certainly more work to be done to it, but I've taken this 43-year-old generator and modernized it a little bit. I'm pretty happy with it. There are a couple more things I want to do. Maybe permanently mounting some sort of display that shows voltage and frequency and everything. Some kind of holder for the hose, and maybe a T so I can have both a propane and a natural gas hose on it. Of course, with a selector valve to isolate one side. And a longer cord, too. Because right now I have to use an extension cord with it. That board could use some paint, too, both of them. But it's come together very nicely, and I'm happy with it.